This evening, Guyana signs $200 million agreement for Soesdyke-Linden highway reconstruction. Arrest made in Linden double murder case. Another suspect found dead with multiple chop wounds. Fatal accident investigation underway in Repos. Pedestrian killed in collision with motor car. In the region, Haiti violence. More Haitians are joining fight against gangs. And internationally, reports of 4 Russian military aircraft down near Ukraine border. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for May 15th, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Police have arrested a male in connection with the double murder in Linden, Region 10 on Saturday. Another suspect was found dead with multiple chop wounds in a house in Block 22, Wisma Linden. The police are still working to confirm the identity of the deceased individual. The suspects are believed to be involved in the murders of 87-year-old Johnson Bowen and his son-in-law, 58-year-old Emmanuel Dos Santos. The duo were attacked and killed in their home at Block 22 Linden by 3 unidentified males armed with handguns and a cutlass during the early hours of Saturday morning. The 2 suspects were discovered in a house at Block 22 Wisma, still under construction and situated in an unfenced yard. The police observed that one of the entry doors had been forced open. Upon entering the house, they found the naked body of the deceased suspect lying on the bathroom floor. The body exhibited 5 chop wounds. The body was later taken to the Linden Hospital complex and officially pronounced dead. The investigation into the double murder is ongoing, and the police continues to question the arrested suspect. Also making the headlines, police are investigating a fatal accident on the Repos Public Road, East Coast Demerara on the evening of Saturday, May 13th. The accident involved a motor car PAD 7001 driven by a 41-year-old woman from Enmore, East Coast Demerara, and a 57-year-old pedestrian Ralph De Castro from Repos, East Coast Demerara. According to preliminary investigations, the motor car was traveling east along the northern drive lane of the road when the driver reportedly noticed the pedestrian suddenly walking across the road from north to south. The driver applied brakes, but the front left side of the vehicle collided with the pedestrian, causing him to be thrown onto the road and sustain multiple injuries. Concerned persons rushed to the aid of the injured pedestrian, who was unconscious, and transported him to the Georgetown Public Hospital. However, upon arrival, a doctor pronounced him dead. The police are continuing their investigations into this accident. In other news, the Ghana Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh and President of the Islamic Development Bank Dr. Mohammed Al-Jasir signed a US $200 million framework agreement to reconstruct the Soesdyke-Linden highway. The project aims to rehabilitate and reconstruct 73 kilometers of the highway with 2 lanes undivided, 9 bridges, and 6 culverts with improved design, quality, and standards. The project also includes ancillary works and road corridor improvements to provide essential public administration support and improvement connectivity with communities, roadsides, and other facilities. Last September, Dr. Singh indicated the government's plan to secure financing to upgrade and repair the Soesdyke-Linden highway, emphasizing the highway's importance and the dire need for an upgrade. The US $200 million framework agreement was signed on the sidelines of the 2023 Islamic Development Bank's group annual meeting in Saudi Arabia. Yesterday, Dr. Singh signed a memorandum of understanding with the Islamic Development Bank concerning the country's engagement framework for Guyana for green, resilient, and sustainable infrastructure and supporting economic diversification and doing business. He also signed a $150 million memorandum of understanding regarding the Saudi funds participation in financing of infrastructural development works for the housing sector and the construction of the Wisma Bridge. Stick around when we return. New Learning Lab empowers persons living with disabilities in Guyana, and state-of-the-art fire service headquarters to open in June.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold. and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a Guyana map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hi, Mr. Smart. Please stop a minute and just clarify this thing for me.
Oh, Sonel, don't tell me it's local government questions again.
Yeah, boss. How come the local government elections different from the general elections?
Okay, the local government election systems allow for half of the members of the council to be elected through the proportional representation system, just like general elections. And the other half will be elected through the first past the post system. This system allows for one candidate to be elected to represent the constituency where he or she lives. For example, if a council got 30 seats, like the Georgetown municipality, 15 will be elected through the proportional representation system, and the other 15 will be elected through the first past the post system, giving a total of 30 councillors.
So that means that every constituency will have one of its citizens who live there having a seat and representing it at council.
Yes, Sonel, that's correct. And if you need to know anything else about the electoral system for local government elections, just call GCOM. Take care, Sunil.
All right.
Monday, June 12, 2023 is Local Government Elections Day. For further information, contact GCOM or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Guyana's new fire service headquarters is set to be opened by mid-June. The building, which cost $614.5 million, is located on Homestretch Avenue and will replace the current headquarters at the congested Stabroek Market Square. The new facility, built by Mohammed's Enterprise, will accommodate 8 fire tenders and 6 emergency medical service ambulances. It will also have male and female barracks, a kitchen and laundry area, office, living quarters, emergency medical technician rooms, a gym, and a day room. The building is designed to function with 70-plus ranks. Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Ben said engineers are currently inspecting the building. The relocation of the headquarters is expected to improve the operations of the fire service in Guyana. In other news, Guyana is set to open the Learning Lab, a groundbreaking center for training and empowerment of persons living with disabilities. Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vinay Prasad, made the announcement during a recent graduation ceremony. The Learning Lab aims to provide support and opportunities for individuals with disabilities and is scheduled to open on May 22nd. The facility has been carefully designed to address the specific needs of different disabilities, ensuring accessibility and inclusivity for all. Currently, at 95% completion, the center will offer recreational areas, a kitchen, a dining space, and a dedicated training area where individuals can acquire essential life skills. The Learning Center is the first of its kind and will also allow people to benefit from several training programs to be gainfully employed.
We would have trained a significant number of persons. We are aiming to complete at least 600 persons before the end of this month in training, and especially also in addition to the skills training or vocational type training we are offering, we'll also be looking at things like abuse and violence, because persons who are in the grouping of living with a disability, they're at a higher risk for those. So those are some of the additional areas they'll be trained in.
Meanwhile, the commitment by President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali to provide retrofitted buses for persons living with disabilities has been fulfilled, as 2 buses were handed over to the ministry to transport persons attending the learning institution. Wrapping up this section of the news, in a resounding triumph, Nazima Ragabir has been re-elected as the president of the Guyana Press Association after securing an overwhelming majority of votes in the recently concluded association elections. Ragabir's victory not only solidifies her position at the helm of the GPA, but also showcases the confidence and trust placed in her leadership by members of the press community. With a total of 95 votes cast, Ragabir emerged triumphant with a staggering 70 votes, leaving her contender and former GPA president Neil Marks far behind with a mere 25 votes. This decisive victory illustrates the widespread support and approval of Ragabir's tenure and the recognition of her valuable contribution to journalism in Guyana. Throughout her previous term as GPA president, Ragabir has demonstrated a strong commitment to promoting press freedom, upholding journalistic integrity, and safeguarding the rights of media professionals. Other members of the Guyana Press Association are Vice President Roll Tony, Treasurer Svetlana Marshall, Secretary Arianda Gordon. Floor members are Dennis Chabral, Alpha Solomon, Ivor Wharton, and Nigel Fraser. The Guyana Press Association's role is to safeguard journalists' rights and interests while promoting responsible and ethical journalism practice. Don't go away after the break. U.S. man charged in New York City subway, chokehold death, and Haiti violence. More Haitians are joining fight against gangs.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. Here's credit. And today, all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document planting flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radica went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Miss Anne! Miss Anne!
Oh, hi, darling.
Help me out with this thing, man. You just know everything. What's all this talk about local government election?
Local government refers to the mayor and councillors who manage the affairs of our towns, like Georgetown, and the chairman and councillors of the Neighborhood Democratic Council.
Oh, but why is that important to me?
Dolly, it is very important. Every day, local government officials make decisions that affects you, your family, and the community. They serve the people within the community in which they were elected.
Oh, Miss Anne, me not understand all them big words you use there. Tell me what local government does do.
All right, Dolly. Local government is responsible for maintaining and protecting public property, like our community centers and the playgrounds, for collecting the garbage, maintenance of the streets, cleaning of the drains and the carpets, and so much more.
Oh, I now understand. Thanks, Miss Anne.
You're welcome.
I'm going to show off for me friends them why I will vote at the local government elections.
That's a good thing. Let's go.
Monday, June 12, 2023 is Local Government Elections Day. For further information, contact GCOM or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. The United Nations says more than 100,000 children in Haiti are at risk of starving to death because of the escalating gang violence. Gangs and vigilante groups control about 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince. The United Nations estimates more than 600 people were killed last month, and kidnappings are being reported every day. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow has more.
Boakale, they sing. The phrase represents the new movement that has taken over the streets of Haiti. People are tired of gangs controlling their lives, and that's why they decided to start fighting back. Jean-Baptiste Kenli says the movement will get bigger every day.
The Bois Calais, it's a campaign of vaccination against gang violence. The Bois Calais will continue to eradicate the kidnapping virus in the country.
Gangs now control 80% of Haiti's capital, and they're extending their presence to other parts of the country. People say they have had enough and have started to go after gang members. Some have been set on fire on the streets. Chaos has taken over this Caribbean nation. Neighborhoods like this one have been transformed by the violence in the past months.
I'm here in the neighborhood of Bel Air. This area used to be filled with people, but as you can see right now, it's almost empty. It looks like a war zone. There's been fighting going on between rival gangs. We're told that members of the G9 gang are not far away from here, and they have been attacking this area.
Emmanuel showed us around the area. He says gangs are ruthless. They have set on fire houses here. They also rape and kill. He also says the government has benefited from them.
I want the situation change, but I know the Haitian government doesn't want, because it's good for him. The politicians are the father of gangsters in Haiti.
The United Nations says the violence has increased malnourishment in the country by 30%. Over 100,000 children are at risk of dying because of hunger. The interim Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, has requested urgent international assistance to help the government fight the gangs. Even though it's been 6 months since the request was made, there has not been an answer.
This should be a force, a multilateral force, with the leadership of one country, whatever country. Unfortunately, there's no country who has been able to accept this great challenge. And so now we are at the point that we require innovative ways to find different solutions.
While the international community continues debating what to do about Haiti, people have been left on their own, going after those who hurt them and waiting for a solution that never seems to arrive. Teresa Wu, Al Jazeera, Port-au-Prince.
Meanwhile, a man who killed a homeless New York City subway passenger by placing him in a chokehold has been charged with manslaughter as the death of Jordan Neely continues to draw condemnation and calls for better social services in the United States. Al Jazeera's Kirsten Salumi has more.
24-year-old Daniel Penny is led in handcuffs from a police station in Lower Manhattan and taken to New York criminal court to face second-degree manslaughter charges for causing the death of a homeless man, Jordan Neely.
Daniel Penny surrendered at the 5th Precinct at the request of the New York County District Attorney's Office. He did so voluntarily and with the sort of dignity and integrity that is characteristic of his history of service to this grateful nation.
The former Marine's lawyers claim he stepped in to protect himself and other passengers when Neely, who suffered from mental illness, became aggressive. They say he never meant to kill him. On Friday, Neely's family roundly rejected that argument in a press conference.
So should Daniel Penny be charged with manslaughter? Absolutely. Because he acted with indifference. He didn't care about Jordan, he cared about himself. And we can't let that stand.
The arrest comes nearly 2 weeks after the incident occurred, spurring demonstrations over what protesters described as vigilante justice. They say that New York officials failed Neely, who was known as a street performer and had multiple run-ins with police and social service organizations. They also say Penny should have been immediately charged, but legal experts say it could be a difficult case to prove.
The defendant has rights, especially in the criminal justice system, and the defendant will advance defenses, the defense of justification, the defense of self-defense, or the defense of others, that the force the defendant used was legally justified, and probably also that he did not intend to cause the death of the decedent.
Penny did not enter a plea and was released on $100,000 bail pending trial. He'll be back in court in July. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, New York.
And internationally, Russian media says 2 of the country's fighter jets and 2 helicopters have crashed in separate incidents near the border with Ukraine and Russia. It comes as Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has been in Rome meeting the Italian Prime Minister and Pope Francis. Al Jazeera's Rory Challenge has more.
President Volodymyr Zelensky and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni greeted each other like old friends. It's the first time since Ukraine's president has visited Italy since Russia invaded his country last year. But the two met in February when Meloni travelled to Kiev to assure him of Italy's continued support. She insists this hasn't wavered.
L'Italia ha dimostrato con I fatti il suo pieno sostegno.
Italy proved with its actions its full support for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine, which is the victim of an unjust and brutal aggression by the Russian Federation, and this is what Italy intends to continue to do.
On
behalf of all Ukrainians, I'm grateful to all Italians whose hearts do not remain indifferent to evil and who support us with aid and defence.
Then it was off to the Vatican to meet Pope Francis, who's been working on a peace plan. But for Zelensky, a satisfactory peace requires Ukraine's much-anticipated spring offensive be successful, and for that he needs to keep the flow of weapons and money from allies open. On Saturday, Germany unveiled its biggest military aid package of the war so far. $3 billion worth of armoured vehicles, artillery, anti-aircraft systems and drones. And the EU has pledged that member states will speed up ammunition supplies.
In the Bakhmut area, where fighting continues,
Ukraine needs about 1,000 shots of artillery per day, 1,000 per day just in Bakhmut, in order to have an idea of the intensity of the fighting.
On the front lines, early signs of Ukraine's offensive are taking shape. Though this footage isn't independently verified, Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade says it's them pushing back Russian forces flanking the embattled city of Bakhmut. Ukraine has also been showing new deeper strike capabilities. This is the aftermath of an attack in Russian-occupied Lugansk. Russia says Ukraine used 2 Storm Shadow cruise missiles, which the UK recently announced it had supplied Kiev. Adding to Russia's sense of unease that momentum is swinging against them, several Russian aircraft came down in what should be safe territory. As many as 2 military helicopters and 2 jet fighters were destroyed across the Russian border in Bryansk. Whether by friendly fire or Ukrainian attack, it's more bad news for Russia's military and good news for the Ukrainian forces set on winning back their land. Rory Challens, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of our global and regional news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV 2 headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and in the evening at 7 for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.